But ball handling to me is just, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's something I love to post about. I love just the aspect of it,
Mm.
but there's no like certain thing that just said, hey, like I just want to teach this. Like it's something that I wouldn't say I'm never gonna call myself an expert at anything, but if I had to pick my thing, I would say it's ball handling. I just love it.
Yeah.
Just everything behind it. Just moving different. The just being different, moving different. Just enjoying it, but just getting that feel because I do think it translates to everything else.
Right.
So.
Right. And just with regards to like practical tips or even just advice for players, like what's one drill or like a understanding or concept that every guard should be doing consistently to improve their handle?
Um, as crazy as it sounds, but I mean, there's not really a secret to it.
Mm.
I wouldn't say there's a specific drill. It's obviously you got to go play. You got to go play. But you got to get your reps in too. But I would say just the secret, right? Which is not a secret, is how hard are you working and how often are you doing it? Like it's just consistency. One thing that people say about me, how often do you post? I post twice a day on social media. Every day, twice a day, usually at noon, then before I go to bed. Some nights if I'm traveling, I may do one, but I try to stick to 2 a day.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm in here repping a heavy ball handling daily, whether it be with clients or whether it be by myself. Like I'm doing things daily in order to get better. So many kids want instant gratification with everything.
Sure.
They want to see it right now. That's not the way it works. You're not going to see improvements, but when you do, you're really going to notice like, oh, I made a change. But I would just say this is how often are you doing it and how hard are you going? This is the key to it. And then, just use creativity, put some music on, go dance to a song, go put some rap music on, like go to the rhythm, the beat of it and just flow, just play,
Yeah.
just have fun with it while you do it.
That's true. And you just said something there that's powerful because it's even I would probably say for me as a kid, I kind of wanted that instant gratification. And even now it's like people who might see you like they they want to see the same view from the mountain that you've climbed, but they don't necessarily want to make that climb to see that whole view, and like you said, it's just doing the simple things like how hard you're working out, but how consistent are you working out as well. So with some of these athletes that you're working with, coach, are they aware of the fact that the work ethic needs to be there, or is that something that they kind of gradually learn over time?
Especially for young kids, I don't push like, hey, you gotta be in here 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to burn kids out at a young age. Like little kids, I think once a week for them, like just depending on age, right? So, young kids, if I say once a week, that's plenty. And we do a lot of fun things, but then they go home and they do it.
Mm.
And that's the key. Then, the middle school, you start growing up a little bit more. And obviously, how good you want to be, the more time you got to put into it, right?
Right.
And that goes obviously for professional athletes, then it's your life,
Right.
like that's what you do, but, I would just say, man, I'm trying to think here. So, can you ask me that question again?
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
trying to get into so many different topics.
How do I think that the average athletes that you work with, when they want to get good at a skill, how should they approach that just with regards to, I mean, like you said, they don't want to burn themselves out every single day, but do you kind of highlight that, if you really want to get good at it, you're going to have to go through messing it up, then getting better, then you get close, but then you still mess up. Like, what's your overall approach just to teaching work ethic to some of these athletes?
Oh, no, perfect. Yeah. I love not I wouldn't say I love when kids fail, but the first question I ask them in here is like, I wouldn't say fail,
Yeah.
I would say more so mess up,
Right.
make mistakes,
Mm.
but sometimes they'll say, do I want you to fail? And then they're always like, no, 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 and it's funny. And at the end of the day, I do. And I'd say, I don't want you to fail, but I want you to make lots and lots of mistakes
Yeah.
because with struggle comes growth,
True.
so the
Ooh,
more you
say that
struggle,
again.
the more
Wait,
growth.
wait a minute.
Yeah. With struggle comes growth.
Yes, sir.
So the more you struggle, right, the more you're going to grow as an individual, as a player. And that's with anything. That's not just basketball. That's everything you do, right? The reason, and I tell the kids, the ones that I'm training and working with, like the reason I can do what I do is because I have failed and messed up more than all of you combined. you know, and I still do, you know, I still mess up. I demonstrate drills and mess up because I always take pride in being able to show at full speed